Hi there, folks. It's your friendly neighborhood magical gay or girl or whatever. This is anime. It's all the same. It really doesn't matter. Anyway, today we're going to be diving into something that I honestly didn't really expect that I would like as much as I actually did, and that's Madou Monogatari, Fia and the Magical Academy. I was looking forward to it, but I just thought it would be kind of like a jank fest or whatever because, it's Idea Factory. But this one is actually pretty freaking good, I'm happy to say. And today I do want to tell you all about it. So be sure to hit that subscribe button to join the party as we go on up and level up together. And be sure to leave a like as well, helps me out a ton. And now let's go ahead and dive on into this great game. So Madou Monogatari. You probably haven't heard of it. Maybe you've heard of Puyo Puyo, but what about Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine? Or even Kirby's Avalanche? Well, let me blow your mind for a minute here because all of those games are part of this long-running series. Most of it, though, including all the mainline games, were left in Japan. But when they were fan-translated, I knew that I had to check them out, and I loved them. Thankfully, I am here to report that this one here is no exception. The obscure dungeon crawlers from the early 90s that probably nobody but me has ever heard of is now back with a vengeance. And it's not a puzzle game either. For the first time in forever, we are getting a proper successor, and it's actually good. You play as Fia, a young girl who dreams of becoming a great mage, just like her grandmother. So she packs up all of her things, grabs her little pet carbuncle, and heads off to enroll at the legendary Magical Academy. Unfortunately though, she shows up late, but she's accepted anyway. Then, all hell breaks loose because, of course it does. Because of that, though, you're quickly labeled as a problem student and then lumped into this kind of weird mixed bag homeroom with Will the Warrior, Lena the Brain, and Eska the Enigma. From there, though, you will pick out your magical discipline, or your job class, and then try not to flunk out while you're saving the world, or saving the school, or even yourself, or, probably all three. So now let's go on over the glorious job class system. At the start, you can choose from a handful of archetypes. The Magical Knight, who is essentially like the warrior class. The Wizard, who's just like a pure spellcaster. The Witch Thief, which is a nice supporting job class with access to bows and arrows. And the Hermit Hunter, who's kind of like the Red Mage, jack of all trades, master of none. Naturally, I picked the Hermit Hunter, so I can mess around with everything and let you all know what works here. But the best part, you can change your job class at any time, and that definitely keeps the game feeling flexible and fun. As you level up and you attend classes, you'll earn some learning points, and these let you unlock new skills in the Grimoire. Some cost some credits, which are also needed to take promotional exams and then rise up in your mage rank. Others just kind of give stat boosts. It's a satisfying little progression loop in this skill tree, and it always shows your next objective in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, so you're never lost for long. Now let's talk about the battle system. It is a real-time movement-based system, but it's also turn-based at the same time. Remember how in Secret of Mana you could attack whenever you wanted to, but if you didn't attack whenever you were at the 100%, it dealt 3 damage? It's kind of the same thing here, except you can attack whenever you want to, and you'll still deal a respectable amount of damage. But if you wait until Fia is at the top of the timeline, then you'll have access to all of your skills and all of your abilities and your spells, and you'll be able to hit weaknesses and deal much more damage. So if you just spam regular hits, you'll fall behind and probably get wrecked. Or you could just kind of use your regular attacks to finish off an enemy who's almost dead. You need to balance all your options carefully. Each weapon has their own skills and attack range, and your positioning definitely matters. After using some skills, they'll leave remnants behind, and these can become elemental orbs, which fill up in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and then charge with your magical arts, which are your big, flashy limit break type spells that hit all the enemies and deal devastating damage. These will disappear after a battle, so use them while they're hot. Weapons will also level up with use, and once you master a weapon, you can use its associated skill without even equipping it, which is a nice incentive to experiment around. You can also equip sub-weapons and level those up too, so you could have a spear and an axe, or a sword and a bow and arrow, and then learn all those skills at the same time. You can also adjust your party AI and swap your allies mid-fight. You can bring along 3 characters into battle, but your reserve characters still gain experience points, which is huge. And that means that you don't have to stress about rotating around everybody constantly. Just use the squad and the people that you like, and then keep your favorites overleveled and overpowered like a true JRPG player. One thing though, if Fia dies, it's game over. It doesn't matter if everybody else is alive. She's the protagonist. Yeah, I know, it sucks, but it is what it is. So make sure to watch your HP like a hawk. And if you do die, you get the Dragon Warrior penalties. What I mean by that is that you lose half of your gold that you're carrying, and you get sent back to the schoolhouse with all of your progress, levels, and treasure saved. Now it's time for me to go over one of my favorite parts here, the exploration and the dungeons. Yeah, they are randomly generated, I know, but it's not too bad because they're all relatively small, the enemies are easy to spot and avoid, and they're also unpredictable in the best way. Some floors are like a loot buffet, others are a trap city. There's also a mini-map available that shows where the enemies are on the screen, and a larger map so you can see where you still need to go and fill out the map. You've also got to manage your vitality points, which is in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, and that's basically your stamina. That will deplete as you explore, smash crates, or ascend floors. Whenever that runs out, it'll act like poison, and you'll slowly lose your HP. So you can restore it by eating curry. But smashing stuff is always a good idea too. It does reduce your vitality points, but in doing so, you'll get items, gold, crafting materials, and other goodies. So it is worth busting every single barrel that you see like a caffeine-addled Link. The dungeons are fast, chaotic, and full of weird little secrets. There's even fishing, farming, cooking, and side quests scattered around the campus. It's simple stuff, but it's charming, and sometimes that's all that you want. Something cozy, something not trying to reinvent the wheel, and something that's easy to pick up and play. So now, let's talk about Fia and her little friends. They're not just filler, they've got actual personalities. Will is the dumb little himbo who actually cares. Lena is the genius mage who's a bit too big for her britches. Toto's a little bit too money hungry for his own good, and Eska, well, she's like this odd dragon lady. And you'll be bonding with them through classes, assignments, and story events. So the game does have some light social sim elements, but this ain't no Persona. You're not scheduling coffee dates here and going to part-time jobs. However, there is enough downtime and interaction that the characters do start to feel like a real crew and real friends, and it does add a lot of warmth to this world. The game runs great on the PS5, it plays smoothly, and it feels like a genuine loving tribute to a weird, long-forgotten RPG lineage. I was expecting this to be kind of like a shallow offering, but no, Idea Factory really nailed this one. I don't know who told them to keep it simple and make an actual good game, but hey, I'm not complaining. So yeah, this was a big surprise hit for me. It's not some AAA mega-budget RPG, it's not groundbreaking either, but it's got heart, customization, fast battles, solid vibes, and enough nostalgic magic to keep me playing way longer than I ever expected. So if you like dungeon crawling, anime fantasy, or just good old comfort food RPGs that you can kind of chill out with, this one here is absolutely worth a look. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, give it a like, sub to me for some more JRPG ramblings, and tell me in the comments, what is your favorite Magical Academy RPG? I know some of you, like me, still ride hard for Manic Chemia. I see all y'all out there. Okay, have a good day everybody.